we have a bootlicker civil war between none other than Charlemagne the God and Roland Martin. Two men who it seems will do absolutely anything to come down on the good side of the Democrat Party are now going head to head because one of these men, Charlemagne the God, has grown a spine and decided to call the Democrat Party out for the government shutdown that they caused. I know you guys don't want to hear it. I know you don't like that, but that's the reality. The Democrat Party caused the government shutdown. They've admitted it. They know it. Everyone knows it. But somehow their constituents and the people who support them seem to be missing that fact. Our other topic is going to be Stephen A. Smith, the god of sports analytics or analysis. He went scorched earth on black female liberals when he realized that black female liberals are nothing more than shills for the Democrat Party who operate in complete hypocrisy. Rules for thee, but not for me. If it's a black liberal female, you need to watch your mouth and show her some respect. If it is a black conservative female, they don't care what you do to her. You can string her up for all they care, and they wouldn't even make a peep. So Stephen A. Smith probably already knew this, but he is just now realizing this in front of the camera, and he goes absolutely crazy on black female liberals, and we got a lot of audio to go over tonight, and I'm glad to have you here with me, and I hope you enjoy the show. If you've never been here, please like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you are a returning viewer, it's good to have you back and make it do what it do. We have several donation vehicles at our disposal. You can contribute through Super Chat. That would be the little $sign that is in the bottom right corner of the chat box. Also, we have PayPal, we have Cash App, we have Zelle, any of those things, and we appreciate all contributions to the channel. That makes it a lot easier for me to do what it is that I do. So sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. Let's get into this content. First, we have a video from Roland Martin by way of Black Conservative Perspective, our boy, friend of the channel, Greg Foreman. In this video, Roland Martin bashes Charlemagne the God really for just telling the truth about the Democrat Party. It's very hard for us to play Breakfast Club audio. They hit you with that copyright for the audio and the visual. So I distorted the audio on the Breakfast Club footage. So it's not going to sound like Charlemagne the God, but believe me, it is him. But we don't have to worry about that with Roland. Roland is too lazy to worry about copyright strikes. So let's listen to the King Shill himself. Let's see what started this mess.
Do me a favor. Do not listen to people like Charlemagne the God. Okay? So Charlemagne was talking about this government shutdown, and he made a comment as relate to what Democrats should be doing. Y'all have that? Okay, play it. Do not listen to what the hell he just said. That to me is beyond idiotic because this battle that we're seeing is not solely about healthcare. Rebecca, I don't know what the hell that was. That was just bullshit.
Boy. So you got to talk about some black on black violence, right? Some woke on woke conflict between Charlemagne the Devil.
Okay, so here's the thing. I need you guys to listen to this very closely. We still have some people out here who believe that the Republican Party is responsible for the government shutdown. That is not true. And there's a very simple way that you can understand that this is untrue. If the Republican Party is responsible for the government shutdown, Why is everyone speaking to the Democrat Party, telling them to end the shutdown? Why, when the Democrat Party, 8 Democrats split with the Republican Party to decide to open the government up, why was it everyone on the Democrat side who said they failed? How did you fail by opening up the government if your intention was not to keep the government closed? Nobody can say, oh, you failed at scoring a touchdown if your intention wasn't to score a touchdown. If you're just walking down the street and you trip over a crack in the damn concrete and bust your knee, they ain't gonna say, dang, man, you missed the basket. Because your intention wasn't to score a basket. Your intention was to walk down the street. But in order to fail at something, you have to have had intended to do it. So it's clear that the goal for the Democrat Party was to keep the government closed until the Republican Party capitulated to their healthcare demands. So when we say the Republicans shut down the government, it just makes you look dumb, because it's clear to everyone that the Democrats were the ones who shut down the government in hopes that the Republicans would capitulate to their demands. So the Democrats are the ones who shut down the government. So what Charlemagne the God is saying is, look, 8 Democrats split with their party to open up the government, right? But here's the thing. I don't know about you guys, but I did my open enrollment for my health care. That was over on November 10th, I want to say, or at least that's what that's the date my job gave to me to have it completed by. Open enrollment ended a few days after that, right? So if open enrollment ended and all the health premiums have been locked in, why are you still keeping the government closed? You held the government up hoping that the Republicans would agree to fund the subsidies throughout the next year. The next year is already locked in. The subsidies, the premiums are already locked in. So there's nothing you can do about those premiums until the year after, until next year at the end. So if everything is locked in, this is what Charlemagne is saying, why are you still holding up the government? You might as well just open up the government to try to ease some of the suffering that people are dealing with due to you shutting the government down. You got air traffic controllers who aren't getting paid. They have bills. You have government workers who are not getting paid. They have bills. You have the air traffic controllers who aren't able to work. Who have to work with no pay. And so now they're all calling in sick, and the flights are being affected all over the United States of America. Why are you still putting people through pain if the goal that you accomplished, that you were seeking to reach, has already set sail in the form of lowering the premiums for healthcare costs? So what Charlemagne is saying makes total sense. So why is Roland Martin saying, oh, don't listen to that because healthcare wasn't the only issue? Well, that's the issue they kept bringing up to people. That's the issue that they kept trying to sell you. Oh, this is about healthcare. This is about healthcare. So now that the healthcare issue is pretty much over and done with until the end of next year, why are they still sitting back trying to hold up the government? It doesn't make any sense. But like I said in my other video, I don't know if you watched it. If the Democrat Party is willing to starve you to gain power, tell me how far they're willing to go. Because once you get to the point where you're willing to starve people, to me, you've crossed the line. I don't care what election you're trying to win. Starving families is off the table. And Republicans did not do that. Democrats did that. They are willing to starve the American people to gain power. It kind of scares me to think of what they're going to try to do next. Let's tap back into this video.
To Stephen A. Smith, but to do it to Charlemagne.
You got to jump in his ass. You got to jump in his ass. Jump in his ass. His ass. You got to push back immediately. Jump in his ass.
It is an absolute pursuit of truth.
which is how I define myself as a journalist. Because I have too much respect for this microphone, and I have too much respect for the audience, to be given something that's half correct. And again, I wasn't going to do this, but I'm just going to give y'all an example. Today, again, in that 20-minute discussion that Charlamagne had, and again, this is not tearing down. I'm just stating what happens when a basic statement is made, and maybe you're not thinking about what you're saying that's actually wrong. Charlamagne was quoting Bishop William Barber, talking about the big ugly bill. And he said, when the bill passed, quote, Democrats failed to expand the tax credits. So it's incorrect for Charlamagne to say, quote, Democrats failed to expand the tax credits. How could they fail to expand it when they didn't have the power? Republicans did. So should the statement have actually said the GOP cut the subsidies? The GOP cut the tax credits. See, y'all missed that. Y'all missed that. I want to walk y'all through very basic understanding language. If the phrase is Democrats failed to expand the tax credits, that means that you are assigning blame for the tax credits expiring on the Democrats because they failed to expand the tax credit.
Yes, the Democrats failed to expand the tax credit because when Trump and the Republicans wanted to pass the big, beautiful bill, they were willing to do anything to get that bill passed. So when one party is desperate to pass a bill, right? That's when you take advantage of their desperation and you start asking for extensions of subsidies and everything else you want, because they're going to be more inclined to give it to you because they just want to get their big bill passed. All right, yeah, we'll give you that for a year. We'll give you that for a year and a half, yada, 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 yada. That's how politics works. You give concessions to get what you want. All right, we want to pass a bill giving every American in the country free gas. Well, there's going to be a bunch of representatives who are against that. How can we get you on board with the free gas bill? They might say, okay, we'll do it, but you need to put an expiration date on it, and it expires in 2 years. You'll say, okay, yeah, that's cool. We'll let it expire in 2 years, because when it gets passed, it's going to be so good that everybody's going to want to vote to extend it in 2 years. You make a concession. So when the Democrats were negotiating and the Republicans were willing to make any concessions to pass the big, beautiful bill, that was the time when the Democrats should have demanded that they extend the subsidies on the Affordable Care Act that was supposed to actually lower the price of health care for everybody, but didn't, actually skyrocketed the price, so the government had to start paying people's bills for them. But they didn't do it. They didn't do it because they have no leadership. They're just not good negotiators. They were so busy saying, we hate the big, beautiful bill. They didn't say, okay, it's like, I'll give you another example. It's like black people when it comes to Donald Trump. You might not want Donald Trump to be president, but he's president now. So do you sit up and wage a 4-year anti-Trump campaign? Or do you go to Trump and see how you can work with him to get the things you want? Jewish people do it all the time. Jewish people overwhelmingly voted against Trump in 2016. But do you know they were able to get Jerusalem named the capital of Israel under Trump, even though they didn't support him during the election? We look at this situation like, African Americans, we tend to have this mindset like winner take all. That's not the way it is. You might lose, but then you can go work with the other side to see if they can make some concessions and you can get what you want. And then when you win, they can do the same thing with you. But we just have this zero-sum game mindset when that's not the way the politics of this country was set up.
Credits. But if the language is the GOP cut the tax credits, that's the appropriate language. Why? Because they control the House, control the Senate, control the White House. So just that one line right there completely changes the context of the conversation, which is why words matter, why language matters, and why we can't be reckless or lazy with how we construct words, because you can change the context of a discussion by changing the words.
Guys, I gotta tell you, that clip is hilarious to me. And I'm gonna tell you guys why. Because Roland Martin, right, in his response to Charlemagne, okay, he basically is saying that, well, see, my problem, Charlemagne, is that you're not pushing propaganda correctly on behalf of the Democrat Party. See, this is why people like Roland Martin, when, you know, people want to talk about black conservatives being sellouts and all that, no. The real people who are really selling out black folks are people like this guy, because this is
Yeah, so Greg Foreman is totally right. What Roland Martin is saying is, oh, Charlemagne, you didn't spin it, so it falls in favor of the Democrats, right? But see, this is the thing with Charlemagne. Charlemagne is not really a spin guy. He's more of a, I want you to actually do the things that you say you're going to do. It's like someone who says, I want something from someone, but I only want it from them and I won't accept it from anyone else. That's Charlemagne. He won't vote for a Republican. He wants what he wants, but he only wants it from a Democrat. He won't vote for a Republican because he wants what he wants from a Democrat specifically. Shout out to truck driver 869. I see you. He wants what he wants, but he only wants it from Democrats. And that is basically a characteristic of the African-American voter in America. We have so many things we want, but we just don't want it from Republicans. So if a Republican gets elected, we just accept that we're going to go 4 years without getting anything. We don't go work with the other side to get what we want. The way Kim Kardashian went and worked with Trump to pass the First Step Act after Barack Obama refused to sign it, right? So what happens is we get half the political life of everybody else in this country. We don't get to have the same political impact on our community as everybody else. It's like somebody showing up half the days at work. Well, they're going to get to half the money of people who show up to work every single day, right? So when payday come, we going to say, damn, what's wrong with our check? Well, bro, you only showed up half the days. And that's black people. And that's why our communities don't even look half as good as everybody else's. They're working with whoever wins. They'll vote against you. They'll donate to the guy going against you. But as soon as you win, they're going to come say, hey, what can we do to make a deal to get what we want? We just refuse to do that. So that's what Roland Martin, his problem with Charlemagne was. Roland Martin just was like, bro, you're not spinning this in favor of the Democrats. And I really don't think Charlemagne tries to spin things in favor of the Democrats. Charlemagne more or less finger wags at the Democrat Party and say, hey, you guys need to do what you said you was going to do. And if they don't do it, he'll talk trash about them, but then he'll still go vote for them.
And who's not? Who's a journalist and who's a DJ? Who's a journalist, who's a shock jock? Who's a journalist and who's a radio host? Who's a journalist, who's a podcaster? Who's a journalist and who has a digital show? Because see, the public just sees all media. But there are clear distinctions in terms of our roles and responsibilities.
Yes, and Roland Martin is not a journalist. Roland Martin is a person who is a Democrat loyalist, and he's willing to do absolutely anything to get in good with the Democrat Party. Roland Martin went on the campaign trail with Kamala Harris to explain a bunch of policies that Kamala Harris didn't even have. But Roland Martin is just happy to be on the plane. He's not worried about whether she's telling the truth or whether she's going to deliver. You've never seen Roland Martin criticize anything the Democrat Party has done unless it's capitulate to the Republicans on something. Hey guys, please let's get the likes up. We got 30 people watching, all on YouTube. I know these shows are not boring and they're very informational, but we're working against the algorithm right now until we get like all the no jumper people out, because I explained this last night, but they're getting the content, but they don't want to watch politics, so they don't watch it when the algorithm shoots it to them. So what I need is the people who are here. I need total support. 30 like. If we're 30 people in here, we need 30 likes. We need 30 likes. If you value the content, which maybe you don't, hit the like button so we can build up, the traction within the algorithm. If you like live shows, because I could just post a bunch of pre-records and we don't do anything live and people don't get to discuss or call up. But let's get the likes up.
And I thought about that when I saw, because I landed in Bermuda, and all these text messages and whatever, and people hit me up, said, "Oh, did you see it?" No, I didn't. I was literally in the air. And then as folks would hit me up, and I got phone calls from people, and I was quite amused by it all, because it's not like...
Yeah, you like Pan-Africanism. Well, guess what? There's 2 Black African Americans going at it. That's Pan-Africanism. If somebody talk about Kenya or Rwanda, and 2 people in Rwanda get into it, you ain't gonna say, "Oh, that's not Pan-Africanism." It's something that is relevant to Black folks. Because right now, you just had a bunch of Black Americans who almost lost their ability to feed their kids. I don't know what is the Pan-African protocol in that moment. Fuck them because they're in America. That's not how that works, guys. That's not how that works. Black people are Black people everywhere, and Black people go through things everywhere. So this is big. Informing our people and letting our people know that, educating them on what's going on in their political arena is important. Because if you go ask the average Black person right now today, who shut down the government? It was the Republicans the whole time. It's the people they voted for who did it. And they don't even realize it because they're not really paying enough attention. So yeah, this is politics. And in my opinion, this is Pan-Africanism.
It's new to anyone where I stand on facts.
You are not acting as a journalist in your current capacity.
Yeah, he's 100% not acting as a journalist. He's 1000% acting as a Democrat operative. He's literally shaming somebody and calling them names because they refuse to lie for the Democrat Party about the shutdown. Roland Martin is still on the part where they say, "Oh, it was the Republicans who caused the shutdown." You don't hear a journalist would say, "You know what, guys? The Democrat Party is saying that the Republicans started to shut down, caused the shutdown, but really it was the Democrats." Now they have a good reason to do it. You know what I'm saying? Whether the reason is good enough or valid enough or not to do it, that's up to you to decide. But the people who are holding up the government, the party that is preventing government workers from getting paid, the party that is preventing food stamp benefits to get sent out, is the Democrat Party. That is what a true journalist would say. Not purposely omit the facts so your party can come down on the good side of the optics. So that's how you know Roland Martin is not operating as a journalist. He's literally running cover for the Democrat Party, and he's being exposed. And Charlemagne the God is gonna rip him a new one and expose that that's exactly what Roland Martin is doing.
Well, just hilarious. Donkey today for Monday, November 10th goes to Roland S. Martin. Y'all know Roland Martin, left-wing political commentator, founder of the Black Star Network. He hosts his show, Roland Martin Unfiltered, on YouTube. Oh, and let's not forget, he is a Democrat dancing machine. Oh, Roland. for the Democrats, you hear me? Okay, he loves dancing for Democrats so much that he won't even go to the right when the Tootsie Roll is playing. Okay, it's all to the left for Roland, and that's fine. Okay, respecting him and his political allegiance with Democrats. So it wasn't a surprise to me that Roland had an opinion on my opinion of this current government shutdown, because I feel like Democrats, even though they put up a great fight, it was a valiant effort in regards to healthcare. It was a fight they couldn't win right now. Okay, key word right now. So open the government back up because people are out here suffering. Roland didn't like that. Okay, he posted this video with the headline, "Beyond Idiotic, Roland tears down Charlemagne's shutdown misinformation." That's the word that got my attention, misinformation. What did I say that was misinformation? Well, let's listen to Roland Martin.
Do me a favor. Do not listen to people like Charlemagne the God, okay? So Charlemagne was talking about this government shutdown, and he made a comment as related to what Democrats should be doing. Y'all have that?
You know what I don't understand, Mimi, and I don't know, maybe you can explain it to me. The healthcare is going to go up anyway because of the big, beautiful bill, because that didn't include the extension of the tax credits to keep the cost down. So if it's going up anyway, what's the point of Democrats taking the stand to keep the government still closed?
At this point, you're right, because the premiums, which the open enrollment started this weekend, November 1st, and so people are getting those letters in the mail. In fact, one person in Utah, a woman, at this point, it's like, what's going to happen? Is it retroactive? Like, how is this going to work as we continue to go forward? So you're absolutely right.
And the premiums are set for a year. So at this point, if the premiums have already gone up, if they're set for a year, at least give the people some relief and get the government back open.
Do not listen to what the hell he just said. That to me.
Right. So Charlemagne the God is making perfect sense. Any self-respecting American, anybody with common sense, why are you still making people suffer when the ship of getting the healthcare premium subsidized has sailed? The ship has sailed. Right? It's like somebody, to give you an analogy, okay, you know what? I'm not going to be able to make it to work today. And your boss is like, yeah, you can't make it to work today, but you still need to show up and just come to the job. Why am I going to come to the job if I can't work? You just need to just go through the motions. You need to waste the money and resources coming up here, even though you're not going to be able to work. But this is what it's all about for these Democrat agents and operatives. They don't care how much black folks or any other Democrat voter suffers. They only care about them gaining access. All Roland Martin care about is whether or not when the next Democrat candidate come and go run for president, if he's going to be allowed to get a press pass to the White House and show up so he could do interviews. All Roland Martin cared about last year when Kamala Harris was running was he going to be able to get access to Air Force Two as she flies around the country and lie to people. Roland Martin didn't give you an ounce of truth coming about anything that the Democrat Party was doing wrong. He was on a campaign to bash Trump at all costs, and it failed. Roland Martin ain't been right since about 2010. I remember when he did the Umar Johnson interview. That's when I knew that Roland Martin wasn't on our side. He tried to set Umar up so many times, and Umar Johnson cooked his ass. Do you think? And you know what Roland Martin did? He tried to set Umar up and then ran his big ass to Ghana, talking about, oh, I just love it out here. You can't be out there rolling because there ain't no white liberal Democrats whose booty for you to kiss. Bro, die from starvation if he can't eat those cheeks. So he'll never be able to go out there permanently. That's just the facts of life.
It's beyond idiotic, because this battle that we're seeing is not solely about healthcare. Rebecca, I don't know what the hell that was. That was just bull.
Roland, what makes what I said BS? I said the healthcare is going to go up anyway because of the big, beautiful bill, because that didn't include the extension of the tax credits to keep the cost down. That's fact-based. Okay, Mimi pointed out that some people were already receiving higher premiums since the beginning of the open enrollment period. People have been receiving notices of higher premiums. So where was the misinformation? Roland, you may not agree that Dems should concede and vote for the government to be reopened, but don't say it's misinformation. Okay, maybe I gave too short an explanation. Maybe I oversimplified it. Maybe I should be clearer for the audience, and I will right now. When the big beautiful bill, or as Reverend Barber called it, the big deadly bill, or as Jasmine Crockett calls it, the big ugly bill, when that bipartisan spending package Republicans forced through, when that was passed, Democrats failed to extend the ACA premium subsidies that were originally expanded under the American Rescue Plan and Inflation Reduction Act. Okay, without those tax credits, ACA or Obamacare premiums increase automatically, and they're already locked in for 2025 since insurers file and finalize their rates months ahead. So if healthcare premiums have
and the reason why they didn't think about expanding all that stuff is because the Democrats are the ones who voted under Joe Biden for those tax credits and those subsidies to expire. That's why they didn't think about expanding it. They were like, well, we're going to let them expire because that's what we intended for them to do when we voted on them under Biden. But now they have the opportunity to weaponize it. Now they have the opportunity to weaponize it against the Republicans. So now we got to pretend like we've always wanted those ACA subsidies to be extended. Well, when you first voted on them in 2024, why didn't you just make them run for 3 to 5 years and that would have settled it? Because the Democrat Party purposely does things on a temporary basis so that they can weaponize it every time there's a big election coming up. That is why Chuck Schumer got on stage and said, hey, just extend the tax credit, the subsidies for 1 more year. Yeah, so he could weaponize it next year leading into the midterms. These people play a diabolical game. And I'm just repeatedly covering this topic because I want to make sure that people understand what's going on. You don't have to love the Republicans. You don't have to hate the Democrats. The only thing I need you to do is understand exactly who is causing you pain. So when you feel the pain, you can say, you know what? This is what I wanted because I voted for the party that is totally fine with allowing me to suffer so that they can gain power. And that's it. You get what you vote for. You get what you vote for. And I just don't want to hear anybody complaining. Pisses me off.
already gone up and are fixed for the year. Then keeping the government closed, the fight for lower premiums makes no sense to me, especially when on top of high healthcare prices, so many people are suffering right now because of the government shutdown. And that's what I care about, the people. Okay, that's why I said what I said, because of the people who are being hurt by this. Federal workers who haven't been paid in 40 days, they pass due on rent right now. Can't pay for child care right now. Hell, they can't pay for the health insurance they do have because they don't have any money coming in. Not to mention people not getting SNAP benefits. So how was what I said some BS? How was that misinformation? Once again, Roland, if you would have said I disagree with Charlemagne, Democrats should fight and not vote to reopen the government until some concessions are made on health care, cool, I would understand that. It's fair. But to say it's some BS and label it as misinformation, that's just a lie. And you did that on purpose. That was intentional to discredit me and the Breakfast Club, but we'll get back to that. He even had a sister by the name of Rebecca Carruthers come in and double down on the lie that we spread misinformation and accuse me of all types of treachery. Listen.
So now Charlemagne is pointing out something that Roland Martin does often. He brings these like college-educated liberal white women onto his show to back up the lies that he tells. Guys, he's paying these people to be on, obviously. These people are highly educated, but they always getting laid off of a job for one reason or another. So when he brings them on, I don't take anything that these people say seriously, because they're going to say what Roland Martin wants them to say. That's why they're there. I have never seen Roland Martin bring somebody on who doesn't agree with him. Only person I saw him bring on the show was King Randall X. When he was tripping on King Randall X, saying he's stupid because King Randall X said he doesn't care about the Democrats or Republican. He just wants to go with whatever party is willing to help these young black boys. But Roland Martin is just a part of that older generation that says we want what we want, but we only want it from who we want it from. And if it don't come from Democrats, we don't want it. But when Trump passed out those stimulus checks and when Trump passes out these tariff dividends checks, black folks ain't gonna give a damn where it's coming from. They just gonna make sure they go spend it. That's the hypocrisy of the whole situation.
I heard was an exchange of two people who don't understand how this works. So what they're talking about are the health insurance premiums that are in the marketplace. The marketplaces are the state exchanges. The state exchanges is because of Obamacare, aka the Affordable Care Act. Here's the thing, those premiums are effective January 1, 2026. You get about 60 days notice in most states. Some states put out their new expected premiums back in October, some kind of at the end of September. But this is giving notice of, hey, if you continue at the level of health insurance plan that you have, this is what you're going to start to pay effective January 1. And so they're erroneous. And I mean, this isn't just misinformation here. This starts to look like this is intentional disinformation. And for the audience, disinformation is where you have bad, misleading information that's intentionally targeted to a certain demographic. The demographic here is Black voters. The reason why is the Black voters are the base of the Democratic Party. Right now, the Democrats are in lockstep saying that, no, we're not going to give you the votes that you need in order to end this government shutdown. You Republicans need to come to us and work out a deal. And so by
Black voters are not the base of the Democrat Party anymore. That's why they allowed 20 million illegal Hispanic immigrants into the country. That wasn't just so that those 20 million can vote for them. That was so that the millions of Hispanics who are here already would feel loyal and beholden to the Democrat Party. Do you see all those people out in the street fighting with ICE who are legal over the criminal illegal alien migrants? All those people will be voting Democrat in the next election and in the midterms. They're not voting Republican, period. Because there is always a segment in every minority group that praises and violently, viciously defends criminality. So what is this guy? Oh, the Black people are the base of the. No, we're not. No, we're not. Not anymore. Those days are over. They don't. Why? Listen, the healthcare. Refusing to vote on the healthcare wasn't for Black voters because everyone knows that you don't got to give Black voters anything for them to vote Democrat. You could spit in their damn face. They still going to vote for Democrat. The Democrats did us dirty, bro. Democrat vote was the party that created the KKK. Went around lynching Negroes from can't see in the morning to can't see at night and setting them on fire. And Black people still vote for Democrats. It ain't nothing you can do to stop a Black voter from voting Democrat. So when you look at something that they're doing on Capitol Hill, when you see the Democrats actually standing up for something, please understand that that is not on behalf of Black voters, because Black voters, as a matter of fact, if you do something for Black voters, they're less likely to vote for you. That's the message that we have sent to the people in charge of the administration of this corporation or company.
Trying to talk to Black folks, so then Black folks can then talk to Democratic members of the House and Democratic members of the Senate to get Democrats to back down. That's what Charlamagne is trying to do here. So this is disinformation that we're seeing that Charlamagne is doing. This is not just mistaken information. This is intentional, going after Black voters.
Rebecca, I don't even know what you were trying to imply.
But let me tell you this, that woman, she sounded like a man because I distorted her voice, but that woman, she literally admitted that the Democrats shut down the government. So in her trying to bash Charlamagne, and basically, and she lied. It ain't basically, she straight up lied. She admitted that the Democrat Party shut down the government. See, when they start infighting and they start trying to like explain and bro science each other to death, they start exposing who's exactly responsible for the nonsense. That's the part where if Roland Martin was a real journalist, he would have stopped her. Because if I was there, I would have said, oh, wait. So you're saying that the Democrat Party shut down the government by refusing to vote on the continuing resolution because they were trying to use this situation as leverage to get the Republicans to extend the Affordable Care Act premium subsidies. Yes, boom, they starved America. And let me tell you the worst part. The CR only keeps the government funded while they negotiate. So so if they would have voted on the CR, that would not have sealed the budget or anything. The CR just continues the negotiations and funds the government for like 30 days while they continue to negotiate. And if you wrap your mind around that, that'll show you how diabolical the Democrat Party really is.
Okay, you repeated what myself and Mimi just said. You just didn't oversimplify it like I did. But I still don't understand how that leads into you saying I'm intentionally giving out misinformation to black voters. What is the misinformation? I'm also not trying to discourage anyone from voting in midterms, even though I know we are going to have to fight to have free and fair elections in the midterms. But that's a whole other conversation. But you, Rebecca, sound like you were trying to make me out to be controlled opposition. Let the record show I don't get paid by any political party. I've never taken money from a political candidate for anything. Can Roland Martin say the same? Again, what did I say that was misinformation? Okay, everything I said is actual and factual in regards to what's in the big, beautiful bill. If you disagree with me saying Democrats should vote to reopen the government, once again, that is fair. If you believe me saying I think Democrats have lost is wrong, I understand that too. But that's my opinion, not misinformation. You want to know why I think Democrats have already lost? I'll tell you my position. One, because the Trump administration practices authoritarian strategy. And they don't give a damn about working class people, and they damn sure don't care about the poor. Number two, Republicans are scared to death of that administration, and they have zero reason to make any concessions. They already have everything they want in the big deadly bill.
And so here you go and now Charlemagne, to prove his loyalty to the Democrat Party, he starts lying. He says Republicans don't care about the middle class and working people. Bro, who just starved the middle class and working people? Who just starved the poor people? Republicans didn't starve them. Democrats did that. But that's what it is. We do it and then hide our hand and point at you and make everyone think you did it. And I couldn't care less if they did do that. But the problem is we, the people, we lose every time. We, the people, lose when we don't hold our politicians and our representatives accountable and call a spade a spade. If you have to lie for your political party to justify what they do, you're not a true American. You're a sellout. I'm not gonna lie listen, man. Let's do a thought exercise. Let's do an exercise. This is what I do for y'all. Since y'all being so cool about coming in and watching, right? Okay, look. Y'all notice that when y'all start hitting the like button, the numbers jumped up. So if you hit the like button, you can almost see in real time the numbers start jumping up. You start hitting the likes, the algorithm starts recommending. The algorithm says, oh, people are watching this and they're staying there. Let's keep shooting this video out. So hit the likes. We got to be like a little army, man. We got to be like no limit soldiers right now. But look, let's do this. You can come up. I'm going to give you the StreamYard link. You can come up. You can ask me anything about the Republican Party or any political thing, and I will give you my honest answer about it. There are things that Republicans do that I like, and there are things that Republicans do that I hate, right? A lot of people are saying, oh, we should end the filibuster. Donald Trump is saying end the filibuster. I'm pissed off that the Republican Party is most likely not going to end the filibuster, because I know that as soon as Democrats get a majority, they're ending the filibuster and they're going to go bully pulpit, passing everything they want to pass. But then part of me is like, yo, but when we're in the minority, it would be nice to still have the filibuster to use just in case the Democrats try to go too extreme. Listen, there's a very good chance that the Democrat Party is going to win the next election. There's a chance. So what I say is, let's all come back to the middle. All this extreme left, extreme right stuff, all it does is keep us from, realizing our full potential as a country. I have no problem with saying that. But at the same time, I'm not out in the street screaming in someone's face, telling them they're a bigot because they don't want to go and die in the deserts of Palestine fighting for a bunch of Arabs who don't give a damn about me. See, this is not a battle of Democrat versus Republican. This is a battle of extremists versus moderates. An extremist is willing to starve a population of people to get their way. We learned that from Africa, from Darfur and all those places. Those radicals didn't care if the kids' bellies, if their ribs was showing and their bellies was poking out, but they hadn't eaten in weeks. They see that suffering and they say, oh, well, because what I want is more important than these people suffering. And I'm sorry to say it, but that kind of looks to me like where the Democrat Party is headed.
Okay, massive tax cuts stay. ACA subsidy extensions didn't make it in. Deep cuts to Medicaid and social programs already in there. They have zero reason to play ball. Roland knows this, but he would rather sell y'all false hope instead of telling you the truth. Roland knows most of these Republicans have made careers running against Obamacare. They can't go back now, even if it kills them in the midterms. And a lot of people I've spoken to in government, Democrats, by the way, feel like that's why pinning a shutdown strategy around this issue was.
Somebody said they doing layoffs at No Jumper. I ain't getting laid off because they just hit me up with a nice offer. So yeah, I guess at the end of the day, Brandon was right. That's why you need to watch this channel, because I'm gonna show you how to play 3D chess. Y'all over here trying to play tiddlywinks. I'm gonna show you how to stand on your shit. But hey, everybody else, hey, they think they got it. They got it. They know what's best.
Foolish to begin with, okay? And a lot of them told me they knew they weren't going to get anything out of this except maybe the promise of a vote on the Senate floor that will ultimately fail. That's why I said last week Democrats lost, okay? As you can see, that seems to be the case because they reached a tentative agreement yesterday that does not include an extension of the ACA subsidies. And you know who will be one of the first people out here fake dragging Democrats for YouTube views because of that? Roland Martin. Even though he knew that was going to be the obvious political outcome from the beginning. Now, listen, if Dems were able to get these authoritarian strategy-ass practicing Republicans to make some concessions on healthcare, I would be the first person on this radio saying I was wrong and applauding them. But I never saw it happening. That's why I said I think they lost. I'm sorry that y'all believe in MAGA more than I do, okay? But I applaud Democrats, okay? Drop on the clues button for Democrats. For doing something they don't normally do, and that's fighting. They threw a Hail Mary on behalf of the American people because they know the American people are about to get their asses kicked when it comes to these high-ass health insurance premiums, courtesy.
See, and this is where I have to just like slide away from Charlemagne the God, because he be saying some good stuff, but then he starts kind of like preaching the company line, right? Oh, everyone's gonna get their ass kicked. Everyone's gonna get their ass kicked by these high premiums. Blah, 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 blah. Listen, let me tell you something. Can I just explain to you quickly why I believe not funding the subsidizing the Obamacare premiums is a good idea? Can you just give me a 1 in the comment? Because I'm talking to each one of you individually. Can you just give me a 1 in the comments if I can have 2 minutes to explain why the government should not subsidize the Obamacare premiums? If I get the ones, I'll explain exactly why this is a bad idea, and you will walk away with some information that you could share with other people. That's what I love to do. I love to give information that you can share with everybody else. Guys, listen, we live in free market capitalism. We live under free market capitalism. What that means is the laws of capitalism are allowed to determine and dictate the market, how much something costs, whether the price goes up, whether the price goes down. This is the same situation that happened with housing. When the government started subsidizing housing through Section 8, it raised rent prices astronomically for regular people who could not qualify, for working people who could not qualify for Section 8. I live in California. They want $4,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment. Why? Because in every apartment building, every new building, they have to allocate a certain amount of the apartments to low-income housing. So the people who build the apartment buildings, they have to recoup that money somehow, right? So that cost falls on the other tenants. And then it hurts you another way. Let's say the person goes and they're on Section 8. Well, if the landlord has a 1-bedroom and he says, hey, I'm charging, and in Section 8 says, hey, we're willing to pay you $3,000 a month for this 1-bedroom for Chibouque, right? The landlord is going to say, well, if I can get $3,000 a month from the government for Chibouque's 1-bedroom, why not raise all my other 1-bedroom price, 1-bedroom's price to $3,000? And if someone doesn't want to pay the cost, I can kick them out and just bring in more Chibouque's, Pookie, Ray Rays, and La Shaquandas, and they will use their Section 8, and Section 8 will pay me 2-3 times what the apartment is actually worth. Now, the people in the who own the building next to that building, they see what he's doing. They raise their 1-bedrooms up to $3,000 a month, and so on and so forth. Now, the working American has been priced out so that the landlords can get that good old government Section 8 overpayment. This is apartments, but this is the same formula when it comes to healthcare. If the government pays for you and they pay an astronomically high price, right? That's not going to that kills the incentive for the healthcare companies, which are companies, which means they are businesses. They sell things, they sell something. It kills their incentive for lowering prices. It increases their incentive for raising prices. Hey, the federal government willing to pay me $1,000 to give healthcare to a family of 3. I'm not going to lower my cost for a family of 3 that's not funded by the government. I'm going to keep the cost the same or raise it and try to find more families of 3 who are getting their healthcare subsidized by the ACA or Obamacare. Now, here's the rub. If the government removes themselves from the equation and you send somebody a bill and say you owe us $1,000 for healthcare, you know what that person's going to immediately do? They're going to start shopping around for cheaper healthcare. They're going to start shopping around for cheaper healthcare. And once they start shopping around for cheaper healthcare, the companies and the researchers and the marketers, they're going to say, hey, look, sales are down of the $1,000 for the family of 3's healthcare. But look, there are a lot of people shopping around for healthcare. There are a lot of families of 3's shopping around for healthcare, but they're not coming with us because our price is too high. But if we lower the price, they will sign up with us and they will buy healthcare from us. You know what companies do in that case? They lower prices because they rather have some money coming in than no money. Because guess what? They can go cut other areas and get back to their bottom line, but they will be bringing money in. Businesses need money coming in to survive. Our government has basically created a situation where they have priced out their own citizens. We're basically paying for ourselves. We are basically paying taxes that are then given to healthcare companies, which cause the healthcare premiums to skyrocket to where we can't afford them. We're shooting ourselves in the foot, as they say. Shout out to my guy, Obstacles to Opportunity. What is up, my brother from another mother? What's
good? What's good? Can you hear me?
Hear it loud and clear, loud and clear.
Man, you always speaking hot fire, hot vibranium. I mean, you already just said it. You kind of laid it, but I just wanted to add on that you often see so many people constantly talking. And hey, if you got all the answers, I'm not saying this to be disrespectful, but please create all the solutions, because obviously you know how to come up with a solution for healthcare just in the studio, right? That's amazing, right? But as you just made statements in, when the government gets involved, a lot of times it just makes the market a little bit more complex, right? And when they open options and then open up regulations and make things a little bit more easier, it's mostly just people in the private sector that's going to figure it out. They're going to compete. They're going to offer better pricing. These are one of the things I just recently try to help with by creating a creator lab studio with universities so students can go to school for 1 to 10 years or 1 to 2 years. And then once they graduate, they'll do a real estate project and they'll make profit to pay off their debt. And then they'll be able to go out and create more housing. That's what you have to do, is create solutions, not necessarily try to create all this funky stuff through regulation and all these different types of policies that you're attempting to correct. So good luck to New York. Good luck to trying to fix this healthcare issue with not creating more creators in the healthcare space to create more solutions, but to delay the process with all this bureaucracy and red tape.
Yep. And I told them last night on here, obstacles. I told them the reason why 8 Democrats split with the party to open the government was not because they cared about you. They did it because someone paid them. Someone came with money. One of the companies that probably has a government contract coming up, or that's in the middle of a government contract, and they're not getting their revenue. They probably came and said, "How much do we got to give 8 of y'all? However many of y'all we need to get this government back open." And they gave a number and they brought it. It's no coincidence that majority of the people who went to the other side are they're gonna retire when they're done with this term. They're not running again. They just found 8 Democrats who had nothing to lose, gave them some money, and then they decided to open the government up. If that wouldn't have happened, the Democrats were totally fine with letting people starve. And I was telling my lady this morning. I said, listen, you got to understand something. The Democrat Party was fine with the American people missing Thanksgiving and missing Christmas, because I promise you, if you would have missed Thanksgiving and Christmas, Democrats would have won the next election in a landslide, because no American has missed Thanksgiving or Christmas in the past 100 years, right? That would have been so traumatic to the American people. They would have unanimously said, look, we do not want no Republicans maybe for the next 2-3 elections because they made us miss Christmas and Thanksgiving. The Democrats had a diabolical scheme, bro, and people just don't realize that. Go ahead.
No. You that's the point right there. They're just running game, right? Because you're always going to blame who's the leader. Nobody's really combing through the details to find out why. They're just like, hey, man, you're in charge. You're the problem. And so that would have been perfect. It was beneficial for the Democrats to have it this way. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure if the Republicans ran same plays, you would call them out too.
100%.
And that's the big difference. 100%, right? And so that's the big difference. But of course, we're playing tribal warfare. And in this situation, at the end of the day, the Democrats, it's a smart strategy. You know, I'm not hating. They're like, look, we're trying to capitalize on what happened in NYC. We're going to capitalize on this small time and the holidays coming up and with this frozen government, and then just blame the person who's steering the ship. And that would have, like you said, opened up the next election for them.
And let me tell you this, you know, see, the thing about the Republican Party is forget the Republican Party. The thing about Donald Trump is this: when you talk, Trump got his ear to the street and he listened because he's connected to a bunch of businessmen. When they got beat in New York, when they got beat in Jersey, and they got beat in Pennsylvania, what was the number one thing Vivek Ramaswamy said that they needed to focus on in the next election? Affordability. Republicans lost sight of the fact that, hey, there are people still suffering who can't afford to live while we're waiting for all this stuff that Trump has planned to go in effect. The big beautiful bill don't even start until next year. So in the meantime, you have Americans suffering, and Trump was like, well, we'll just wait it out, and you know, they'll feel the impact next year. Ramaswamy said, no, you need to start talking about affordability now. Within a few days, within a week, obstacles, here come Trump with a plan to try to restructure mortgages so people can start buying houses again. You put people in houses, you lower the cost of rent, because now people say, why would I rent when I can buy?
Gotta compete.
They have to compete. So now Trump is talking about doing stuff like 50-year mortgages, things where you gonna pay damn near rent price for a house, right? Yeah, you might not want to pay a mortgage for 50 years, but it allows you to grow with your income.
Yeah, let me say that. Let me speak about that, because that's big. People are
That's up your
wilding out
alley
and
right
going
there.
back and forth. Yeah, that's up my alley, right? And people are going back and forth on that. And what I'm saying is, listen, guys, at one point in American history, we were paying 15. Then at one point, Americans was like, houses is not affordable. I know you guys think it was perfect in the past, but it was not. You could ask your great granddad, right? Or your great grandma.
Yes,
And
sir.
so they were like, it's not affordable. We don't have the money. So guess what the government did? Came out with a 30-year mortgage. Guess what, guys? Still today, you can get a 15-year mortgage. Freaking, Dave Ramsey tell you to get no mortgage, but at least you got the 15 and the 30, right? Now they're coming out with a 50. I find it quite funny that when we talk about Europe, we're always talking about Europe got this, Europe got this. Well, guess what, everybody? Europe has 40, 45 to 50-year mortgages.
Of course.
They've been had it.
You can't afford a house. You can't afford a house in Europe on what they make after taxes destroy them, unless you could stretch that payment out. They should put 100-year mortgage
years
and put everybody in a house for $500 a month. That everyone will have a house at that point.
Yeah. And the funny part also is, for a 30-year mortgage right now, I'll be more conservative, but at least 10% people make it to a 30-year mortgage. Most people just refinance or move into a new house and relocate. So anybody thinking, well, I'm not about to sit there and pay a 50-year mortgage, it's just not about that. It's about building up equity. It's about rolling through, having lower payments, like you said, until you get in a position where you're like, hey, look, switch it. But let me ask you this. The conversion rate, how often is somebody usually saying, hey, I'm going to take a 30-year and get it down to a 15? No, nobody does it. Everybody takes 30-year mortgages. Nobody takes the 15. And watch this, 15, isn't that double when you go to 30?
Yes.
So again, it's just common to us. And so we're okay with it.
People don't understand that, okay, say I'm 40. So I say I get a 50-year mortgage. I'll have to live till I'm 90 to pay that off. But my goal is not to pay that off. My goal is to build equity in that house to where when I get 65, I could say, hey, I could sell this thing, pull the equity out the house, refinance, retire on that money. Hey, I can hand this house over to my kid. They can take up the day-to-day expenses of the house, and I go live in Bali somewhere or go out to Southeast Asia somewhere. We don't think generationally. That's the difference. See, other people think generationally. I don't care about a 50-year mortgage, because if I pay for 30 years, that means my kid only got 20 years left when I drop dead. We don't think like that. And meanwhile, I could get the mortgage low, $1,500 a month. Now I have what's called disposable income that I can invest and use my income to fund different ideas and schemes that could result in me getting a big enough bag to just pay the house off outright. But people now, they're getting homes, they're cash poor, they're house poor, which means they have money, but all their money is poured into their house. Trust me, I know all about this. All their money is poured into their house, and now they have no extra money. They have no disposable income where they can go out and invest in the $1 million scheme to pay this joint off early. See, you need money and flexibility so you can go out and make the attempts to get the type of money that can just pay that house off outright.
And how much were we just talking about people getting into a house, 30-year mortgage, and then something happens and they don't have $200 to fix anything in the house? So this, again, will give you that room to have extra capital and to be able to fix it, because people started realizing, like, dang, man, home ownership ain't no joke. You got to fix some things around here. And so that also creates that room and that cushion. I think more options is not a bad thing. People arguing about more options is a difficult. It'd be different if Trump said 50-year mortgages only, no 15 and no 30 years. No, he didn't say that. He said, hey, here's another option.
Yeah, and 100%. And here's the thing. People just also, I think, have to get comfortable with the idea of buying houses as an investment, not as a domicile to live in. There's a lot of things we could get into. This is like a fire topic that we can totally get into. But the whole point is, Vivek Ramaswamy told the Republicans, hey, you guys lost because you're not making things affordable for people immediately, right? Long term, cool, but immediate is what people need now. Trump immediately got on the ball. Let's do a 50-year mortgage. Let's do this, that, and the third to get some money in people's pockets. Let's give people $2,000 so they can feel a little bit of this progress that we make. You know what I'm saying?
A little bit of this tarps.
Trump, like in Vogue, he gonna give you something you can feel. You feel me? But guess what? We are vehemently opposed to that. We're so institutionalized on this plantation. It's like when somebody they could leave the gate open, and we won't even go out that mug because we that trained. Hey, don't start wanting stuff. Don't start expecting the government to do what they say. It's like it's criminal to do that, to expect the government to actually deliver on the promise they make. And Trump is pulling the veil back on a lot of people, and I'm here for it. Final thoughts, my brother?
Yeah, final thoughts, man. The response time that you're actually highlighting is ridiculous. And this is not only just us kind of saying this, but this is when people or other politicians speak, Trump listens and he adjusts, excuse me. And then also in the private sector, they say all the time, they say something to Trump, he listens, and the next thing you know, something's moving and something's shaking. Just look at the first, what was it, 120 days? You know, they were making it work. They were making things happen. And so when I say, when it comes to all these things, guys, take advantage of the opportunities, right? There's going to be a lot of people who are naysayers, but they're not going to get you in the house. They're not going to be feeding your family. All they're going to do is be feeding you doom and gloom and hoping that you arrive in the same situation so they can sell you more doom and gloom 10 years down the road. So what I would say is just listen to people like Brandon. And he's going to actually give you the information that you need to equip yourself with, but also information so you can start actionable steps to save your family. Because ain't nobody else going to do it, Republican, Democrat, or anybody, unless you take action. Shout outs to Brandon for actually providing the information, and keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Hey, Republican Party, Democrat Party, fool, you ain't even invited to the party. So throw your own. That's what we do over here. Shout out to you, my brother. Much love. Peace. Hey, look, you're going to get jewels like that on this channel. Hey, listen, y'all, I'm telling y'all just like this. I'm telling you just like this today. 50-year mortgages become a thing. I'm going to get the next crib, the next house in Indiana, either Gary or Griffith. I'm getting one of those $185,000 or $200,000 houses with the deck and the beautiful yard and all that. And I'm stretching that mortgage out 50 years. I'm about to be paying $600 a month on a mortgage, and I'm renting it out to a family of 6. I'm telling you, that's the plan. That's the move. Child, why did you leave? I was about to bring you up. That's the move, and that's the plan. So I gave you some game. Don't say I ain't never laced you up. I gave you some game. We over here cooking. Child, what's up, man? My resident liberal.
Damn, man, I thought you were running, man. I'm like, bro, you ain't bringing me up, man. I wanted to talk to obstacles too, but that's good. I'm all right,
Talk
man.
to me.
Hey, I tell you, man, you gotta look up some facts, bro. Like, how you gonna say the government getting involved in healthcare raises the price of healthcare, but yet still the United States of America pays more for healthcare than all other industrialized nations, and they all have government provided healthcare?
No, that's because we have more people than those nations.
No, we're talking about per capita. We're not talking about the individual. We're talking about per capita.
Listen, I'm not here to argue with you tonight.
Per person.
Who has universal health care? Name a country.
Canada, Japan, all of Western Europe, and they have still private insurance too. You can purchase private insurance, but there's a basic level of health coverage that provides everyone.
Listen. The whole country of Canada don't even have more people than the country of Kenya. And
it's
Kenya is not even a 10.
Brandon.
Listen,
it's
man,
per
listen.
person. Per person.
And do you understand what the word? Do you understand what the word exponentially means?
Yes.
Okay, so you say per capita, I say exponential. 350 million people is a lot more than 40 million.
Brandon,
the cost increases exponentially.
Brandon, your arguments are.
My argument is
like that makes no sense.
Listen, you bum.
That's like the argument you had the other night.
Listen. I don't know what third world hellhole you're from. They're not taking money out of my paycheck so that you can have free health care.
Brother, I have health care.
I'm not your brother.
You have health care.
So why are you complaining?
You get what I'm saying? But my point is, you made a statement that's factually incorrect.
That's not factually incorrect.
But you don't care about facts.
All right,
that's the problem.
What statement did I make? What statement did I make
You
that was
said
fact?
the
What
government
statement did
getting
I make?
involved in healthcare drives up healthcare
That is
costs.
exactly what it does.
Fundamentally
That is
incorrect.
exactly what it
That
does.
is incorrect because American government is really not heavily into healthcare
So okay,
like
so let me
other countries.
let me ask you a question. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this one
Yes.
question. We're
Go
gonna see
ahead.
if you're a man of your word.
Mm.
Obama put in Obamacare, said that
Yep.
would lower healthcare costs for every American.
Mhm.
Since Obama implemented Obamacare, let's get the year. Year Obamacare was implemented.
Thanks for looking something up. That's good, man.
Okay. Obamacare was implemented on January 1st, 2004, 2 years after Obama left office. Since January 1st, 2014, under Obamacare, have premiums went down or have they went up?
Obama didn't leave in 2014.
I'm asking you a
2 years before he left. He left in 2016.
I mean, yeah, 2 years before he left. My bad.
Okay,
Listen,
correct.
once Obamacare was implemented, did prices for healthcare go up or did they go down?
That question I
It's a
cannot
very
really
simple-
answer.
See,
I can't. I don't. That,
who's lying? Now, hey, remember
No.
the people are watching. The
no,
people
no,
are
brother,
watching.
brother,
Who's lying?
brother,
You can't.
brother.
Okay, listen. Wait.
No,
It's
the reason I said I can't
wait,
answer that
There's
question.
an easy answer for it. There's an easy answer for it.
Mm.
Why are we talking about subsidizing health Obamacare right now when Obamacare was supposed to be free? I mean,
No, Obamacare had subsidies in it from the get-go. There were always subsidies.
But there's new
From the
subsidies.
get-go, there were always
There's
subsidies.
but they put new subsidies in Obamacare last year through the American Rescue Act.
Right, they did.
Because
they did
because
increase
the
it.
price
What?
because the prices on the Obamacare market increased exponentially out of nowhere. The healthcare companies just say, "Hey, we're raising prices on you."
No, that wasn't the reason for that.
That is. Don't say
that
COVID.
wasn't the reason for
Don't
that.
say COVID.
That wasn't the reason for that.
Don't
A big
say
part of
COVID.
it, that wasn't the reason. The reason is, one of the big reasons is the Democratic Party, right, as a general rule, believes in providing healthcare for more people. And so they find a way to do it with that act. You see what I'm saying? But the Obamacare always had subsidies in it. They just expanded a bit the number of people that could get those subsidies. But healthcare in America is expensive regardless of whether, if you look at what your employer pays for your health coverage, it's a ton of money. Employers are paying $1,500 a month sometimes, even if you're a member of a group plan. That's a lot of money for
Now all of a
most
sudden
people.
you're sympathetic towards the employers?
No, I'm just saying it's an expensive venture in the United States of America.
All right.
Healthcare is expensive all over the world, but per capita we spend
Bruh, the
more. And all I'm
Democrats
saying
didn't-
is that
Oh, but
all these
listen.
other places have government funded healthcare and they have a
Listen,
lower
man,
cost.
and these
So
you can
that
move.
doesn't.
Why don't you move there? The people in those
Brother,
places are trying to come to America,
why
buddy.
do you have these type of arguments? Why?
Hey,
Because someone
can you
says
read?
someone is
Can
doing
you
something.
read? I want you to read this. This is a fact.
Oh.
Read this right here. Read this. I want you to read what's on the screen right now.
Let me see if I can see it. ACA benchmark marketplace premiums have increased significantly since 2014, with some estimates citing an increase of 80 to 129%. As of late 2024, early 2025, this increase represents the total premium amount, including government subsidies, rather than the amount paid by individual enrollees. The exact increase depends on the factors like specific plan type, individual age, and location, and whether they qualify for financial assistance.
Okay, so
So-
Obamacare was supposed to lower prices of healthcare for all Americans. Instead of lowering the prices went up in it was 2014, 2020. So in 11 years, the prices increased 129%. So
Yeah, but
Obamacare, listen, the Democrats have admitted to this. They said Obamacare failed. The Democrats said that. They said that.
Okay, you can find me that.
They said you have to ask us. They said we know you want to ask us, why are we coming here to ask you to subsidize a healthcare act that was supposed to lower cost for Americans all over the country, because it failed. That's what the Democrats said.
You would have to find me that quote.
The only person So the only person on earth who believes that Obamacare was a failure, including the Democrats who actually voted it into law, is you. Everyone else knows Obamacare failed. Now,
Brandon,
okay.
Brandon, if you go back to the 80s, people were buying houses for $30,000. What does it cost
Man,
a
you
house now?
moving the goalposts. We was just talking about
no,
healthcare.
I'm not moving the goalposts. I'm showing you that inflation is going to be expected. It's expected that costs are going to go up in healthcare. The question becomes, did the costs increase slower or faster?
It increased, bro. Nothing goes up 129% in 11 years,
brother,
man.
How much did the cost go up from 2000 to 2014? Is it the same as from 14 to now? Did it slow? Did it increase?
It doesn't matter. It should not have went up 129%.
And then I read a study too that said that the savings from Obamacare itself was like, because they had said initially that it would save $4 trillion, and the estimates are coming out saying no. Obama said that it would save $4 trillion over 10 years.
He lied.
The estimates came out. 1 second, brother. The estimates came out. I've seen estimates that said it saved 2.5 trillion. So it didn't save as much as he said, but it did save.
It didn't save any, bro. How's it saving when it's costing the government every day? They want, bro. You said 2.5 trillion, bro. Obamacare was costing us 35 billion a year.
The point of the what I'm saying, Brandon, I do not expect necessarily healthcare costs to come down.
Listen,
but what I'm looking at is everything goes up. The housing has gone up. We always have inflation. Do you want to buy your house today for $200,000 and sell it 10 years from now for 200? No, you want to increase, right?
Are you talking about me personally? Because I was about to say that's
anybody. If you're in business, you want to have an increase in prices to some degree. What you don't want is runaway inflation.
Stop talking. Let me play this. Intended to do.
It will actually reduce the deficit by $4 trillion over the long term. Reducing the waste and inefficiency in Medicare and Medicaid will pay for most of this plan. It will slow the growth of healthcare costs for our families, our businesses, and our government. There will be a provision in this plan that requires us to come forward with more spending cuts if the savings we promised don't materialize.
Much, much, much later.
I owe you an answer on why it is I'm standing here today asking to extend something that was temporary. And here's the reason. We did fail to bring down the cost of healthcare.
Benito Mussolini once famously said that fascism would be better named corporatism because it is hinged on the government forming syndicates with corporations. Okay, so what you're missing, Adcha, because you love Democrats so much and, oh, they're trying to help people. All the Democrat Party did was form a syndicate. They formed a criminal organization with the healthcare companies, which laundered American money. They took American money and they put it in the pockets of the healthcare corporations that donate to their political campaigns. That's all they did. Obama forced you. That's like me. Look, okay, do you go to the store, like when you buy food, right? What store do you like to go to?
I go to all stores, man.
Just tell me what's your favorite store, bro?
Costco.
Okay, you like Costco. Imagine if I came to you and said, Adcha, you have to go to Sam's Club. You cannot go to Costco. You have to buy from either Sam's Club or Target. If you don't buy from Sam's Club or Target, I'm gonna penalize you and charge you an extra $1,000 a month. Or if you're Hillary Clinton, you're gonna get put in jail. That would be fascism, right? Because it's the government colluding with the corporation to force you to spend your money there, right? That's exactly what Obama did. Obama said you have to buy healthcare or else. If you're a person who maybe you just don't get sick, maybe you don't care about your health care, how is someone going to tell you that you have to spend your money on something that you don't want to buy, and you have to buy it from the government approved healthcare companies? That is called fascism. Is that not fascism?
Removed.
Is that
part of it? That part of it has been removed. That does not exist anymore.
Wait, Adcha,
you used to be.
Listen, Adcha, listen. But initially, I want to see if you're going to be on. Let's find common ground.
No, because you drive a car, right? You have.
Wait a minute,
you drive
brother.
A car, right?
Hold on. You're doing the Democrat thing. You're doing the Democrat thing. I'm asking you pure and point blank, based on the truest definition of fascism. was what Obama originally implemented.
No, it's not.
Fascism.
It's not. No,
okay,
no, it's
so
not.
he didn't collude with healthcare companies.
Brother,
He didn't
you
force
drive a
you to
car,
buy from healthcare. Wait, he didn't force you to buy from healthcare companies.
Listen, there was a provision in it
I'm
that
asking
you'd
you
be
a very basic
penalized if
question.
you didn't. But the
okay, so
penalties
that
weren't that
forces.
high.
Listen, man, it
So
don't
you
matter
didn't
about
have to buy it.
Man, it doesn't
You
matter.
didn't have to buy it. You just pay the penalty. The penalty wasn't that high, though.
Listen, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
They're punishing you for not buying something that they are forcing you to buy. Am I wrong or am I right?
And they're forcing you to
I'm
buy
asking you
car insurance. You're
listen, man,
forced to buy car
I'm
insurance.
asking you a very basic question. Am I
Are
wrong
you
or
forced
am
to
I
buy
right?
car insurance? Are you forced to buy car
If
insurance?
you want to operate a car in America, you
So
have
what's
to
the difference?
Here's the difference. They're not forcing you to buy a car.
What? They're not forcing you to buy healthcare either.
That's exactly what they're doing.
No, you don't have to buy healthcare. You could not buy it and pay the penalty.
You will exactly. But if I don't buy a car, do I have a penalty?
Well, yeah, because now you to get to work, it takes more time and all that. You're being penalized. Yes.
But is it a government sanctioned penalty? Is the government like, hey, if you don't buy a car, we gonna penalize you $1,500?
No, I can't really say that. But the thing is,
Okay,
to me,
wait,
I don't have a problem
I want
with
you
it.
to slow down. I want you to slow down, my brother. I want you to slow down. That's what makes it fascist. Yes, they do force you to buy.
Let me ask you a question.
Wait a minute. They force you to buy car insurance if you want to operate a vehicle, which is a privilege, not a right, on American highways. But they're not forcing you to travel by car. You can walk, you could take a bike, you could catch a bus, you have all kinds of options. They forced you to buy health care. If you did not buy health care, Hillary Clinton was going to throw
you're forced to buy a car in some ways, because what if you live way out in the suburbs, there's no bus service out there?
But they don't.
What do you do? No taxi service. What do you do?
They don't force you to live in the suburbs, though.
You have that choice. Same way you have a choice to purchase healthcare or not purchase healthcare, but you pay the penalty.
You got checkmated, bro. You know it.
You pay the penalty. That's all.
No, you don't pay no penalty.
I don't see
if
anything
you don't want
wrong
to buy
with
a car, you don't got to buy a car.
But what if you live out in the burbs and there's no public transportation? What do you do?
You arguing in bad faith right now.
Anyway, I know for me at least. Now I find some sources online, right, that say,
listen, guys, it always reverts from the communal concern to the individual. He went from caring about everybody to now.
No, I'm going to the communal right now. Let me read this.
You're a capitalist.
Have healthcare costs risen? This is from Econofact, right? .org, right? Have healthcare costs risen faster since Affordable Care Act has passed? Answer: no. While healthcare costs have continued to increase since President Obama signed the Affordable Care Act into law in 2010, they've done so at a slower rate than in years before the law was passed. A 2021 study published by JAMA, which is a medical journal, right, found that out-of-pocket healthcare expenses increased at an average of 3.4% a year from 2000 to 2009 and 1.9% a year from 2000 to 2018. I'm just saying, for myself, I've noticed my healthcare costs have gone down. It's slowed. There was a time when more of our wages were getting eaten up because
you're one person.
The employer had to pay for healthcare.
You don't have a family.
I'm just saying to you.
Do you have a family? Do you have children? Do you have children?
Brother,
I'm asking you a simple question.
Yeah, I got kids.
Okay.
I just read an article that says that it's slowed, and that's what I'm saying. I do not expect it to not go up.
But it has gone up too fast. 129%.
Yeah, but housing has gone up. Eggs has gone up.
And that's why we're trying to get housing to go. That's why we're trying to get things to go down or stretch the payments out to where it's still affordable for Americans.
Right. The thing you don't want, because the Fed, for instance, they have a 2% inflation mandate. People don't want zero. You don't want zero inflation, because if you get zero inflation, what you get is deflation.
Okay,
right?
Thank you. Thank you. I have to let you go for the next person. Thank you so much, though.
All right, brother.
All right. Hey, bro got cooked on that car insurance shit. He thought he was gonna get me and he set himself up. He put his head in the noose on that one. Peace sizzle, my brother. We got a limited time, but go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up on what he was saying. Like, I don't know why he keeps coming on here every day arguing about Obamacare, which is a failed policy. But even looking at this online, it says from 2013 to 2017, premiums rose by 105%. And as we were talking about the other day, a lot of insurers left counties that they thought wasn't financially viable, resulting in consolidation into just like one insurer in the marketplace. And employers were on the hook to pay higher taxes on payroll because of this Obamacare subsidy policy. So I understand why that guy is emotional, because their party sold him a lie, and a lot of folks in their party are very, very emotional. But I like your argument. I think you're more logical. And just wanted to hop in and say, this shutdown, I think, just officially ended while you were on live streaming. The House of Representatives just passed the bill. So now it's going to go to Trump in a couple of hours, and they're going to reopen the government. And it looks very, very bad on Democrats because Chuck Schumer looks like a fool. Their voters look like fools. They were willing to hold the entire country hostage over healthcare, which is very, very, very silly and uncivilized.
It's very dangerous. And
Yep.
I don't like the idea that they were willing to starve the American people for power. It was a power move. And it didn't work. But people went hungry over that.
Yep. And I just feel like people are so lazy. They don't want to get a job. They don't want to get on private insurance. They don't want to explore all the other options that 99% of Americans are already using. Then they just want some saving grace to fall from the skies and make it very uncompetitive, a very regulated, very subsidized industry. And that's just not how capitalism works. Competitive pricing is the way to drive the cost down for consumers. Like, I wish the other guy would just realize that instead of coming here and arguing and being very emotional every day. But yeah, great show as always.
Thank you, my brother.
To chat with you.
Guys, thank you. What we do see in like P Sizzle and like Ad Cha represent the opposite ends of the spectrum. But what I know is Ad Cha's an intelligent person. He knows that what we're saying is true, but he's loyal to the Democrat Party. So he can't say anything that's going to cast a bad light onto the Democrat Party. Me, I couldn't give a damn about the Republican Party. That's the thing about Republicans. We're not loyal to lies and bull crap. You start bullshitting us, we're going to come for you. That's one of the reasons why the Republicans have a hard time, beating out the Democrats a lot of times, because we are going to call each other out no matter what's at stake. You got Marjorie Taylor Greene calling out Trump and everybody else right now. You got Rand Paul siding with the Democrats against the Republicans when it comes to the healthcare subsidies and all that stuff. But he's free to do that and not be shamed and condemned and vilified by his own party. You haven't seen me make one bad video about Rand Paul because I respect his ability and his right to disagree. But I will make videos bad about a Republican or a Democrat if I feel like they are purposely misconstruing the facts to mislead people, to be deceptive. And that is what Democrats, people like Roland Martin and all these people are doing. Okay, guys, we're going to go to the next topic. But first, let's get these super chats. Thank you to everybody who dropped a contribution. Remember, we have several donation vehicles at our disposal. We have super chat. That is the little $ in the bottom right-hand corner of the chat box. We have PayPal and we have Zelle, and they are all pinned to the top of the chat. I believe they're all pinned up there. They should be all pinned to the top of the chat. If they're not, let me know. We appreciate your contributions. It's much appreciated and much needed. Thank you so much for all to all of you contribute. And I'm going to thank you ahead of time. Now we're going to jump over to, and I don't know what you mean, Samurai Kim. We need more Cam. We need more logic on both sides. Bro, I'm using pure logic, man. I'm using pure logic. I ain't up here making up stuff. I'm telling you what it is and what it ain't, and what it's going to be and what it's not going to be. And guess what? Do I agree with every single thing? No, but that's the way it is right now until we change it. You have the power to change things. Now, if you relinquish that power out of laziness or whatever, that's on you. But you have the power to change things. It's all about whether you are willing to do the work of changing it. We see change happening every day. But are you going to initiate change and see it through? That's the big question. So now we got to get into our next topic, which is Stephen A. Smith going scorched earth on black female liberals over their criticism of him criticizing a Caucasian. And I think her name is Amanda Michelle Beadle. Michelle Beadle, who is the co-host of Beadle and Decker, which is a Sirius XM, or it's not on Sirius XM. It is a liberal talk show where they basically just beat up on Republicans all day. And they never criticize Democrats. They never look at things objectively. They don't try to look at things from the other side of the coin. It's just super woke, super liberal. We're right, you're wrong. If you don't agree with us, we don't think you should have the right to freedom of speech. And all the far left liberal hooey. So Stephen A. Smith criticized this lady because she tried to say that she had some type of bad interaction with him at one point. And bro is like, girl, I've never even interacted with you like that for us to have a bad interaction, right? And it kind of reminds me, when you're dealing with these liberal white women, my daughter, she's a volleyball player, and I don't know why I focus. Yeah, she's a volleyball player, and it reminded me of a time when these liberal white women said that I had said something at a volleyball game, and I was so pissed off because when I go to my daughter's volleyball games, I don't talk. My voice is very loud. It carries. If I say something, it's going all across the gym, and it ain't going to be taken lightly, and I know they trip it, right? Black fathers are definitely a threat to the woke mind virus or people who are suffering from it. So I say nothing. So there's a Hispanic guy at the tournament, and he's going off. He's yelling at the refs. He's yelling at the coaches. He's yelling at everybody because his daughter's not getting in the game, and she happens to play on the same team as my daughter. Do you know these heifers said that I said that I was saying all this stuff, and the coach had told the owner that I said all this stuff, right? And I said, there's no way I said that. I said, we can get together and have a meeting. And in the meeting, you can show the coach my face because I never even talked to this lady ever. And she could tell you whether it's me or not that she's talking about. 2 seconds into the meeting, the coach walks in. Oh, that's not him. Oh, we're so sorry. All that. It wasn't me, right? But they were so certain that it was me that they were ready to just kick my daughter out of the club. No questions asked. I'm like, whoa. I was at the tournament, yes. But I was sitting in the middle of all the parents and I wasn't saying a single word. I just was silent. And all the parents testified to that as being the truth. They say he just sat there and he was quiet, and he had went to get coffee and asked everybody if they want anything back, and that was the end of what he said. I already know the game, right? So I got a little apology, whatever. We end up leaving that team anyway because it sucked anyway. So we were out there. But this is kind of what's going on with Stephen A. Smith, someone who he's never really even interacted with. They are now saying that he was rude to them or mistreated them or something to that effect. And Stephen A. Smith is going hamburger, and he's calling out a lot of hypocrisy with these black female Democrats. And I want you to understand something. During slavery, the head of the plantation was the black mammy. Usually it was a big fat black woman who basically was in charge of keeping all the slaves in check. She wasn't only in charge of the female slaves, being a woman, she was also in charge of the male slaves. See, when a man is insulted or humiliated or hurt, the first thing that comes to his mind is how to eliminate the person that is hurting him. To keep these big buck bread Negroes who were picking 100 pounds of cotton in a day and lifting up bales of hay barehanded that only a mule could move otherwise, to keep these men under control, the massa really didn't just use the whip. It was the whip in tandem with the big fat black mammy, who, whenever the male slaves thought to revolt and go catch massa and cuts out his tongue, the black mammy would come to that black man and she would calm him down. Even to this day, the black female has a very calming effect on an angry black male. Usually they are the only ones who can talk us down when we're ready to go out and hurt something. It has traveled down through the generations to our day, right? Here's the problem. The mammy, because she was bestowed with such an abundance of power, she began to get too big for her britches. She started to believe that because she was in charge of the daily operations of the slaves on the plantation, that she was free to have an opinion and even challenge Massa on certain issues. And every now and then Massa had to remind her that, look, you may be head of the niggas, but you are not me, and you have no room to challenge me or anything that I do. Come all the way down to 2025, the same rules apply today. The black woman has been bestowed with the power and the leverage and the freedom to bash the black man and basically make him understand that he is inadequate, he is unworthy, and he is lowly when it comes to the social hierarchy of the United States of America. But every now and then, the bed winches get too big for their britches, and they gotta get checked. Stephen A. Smith is calling out this hypocrisy, and this hypocrisy is on full display in this situation between him and Michelle Beadle, this decrepit-looking liberal white woman.
He made you look like fools for handing him a blank check in the first place because he doesn't even give a shit about the stuff that he's
Hold on.
behind the scenes. Created this monster. He is.
There we go. Start now.
So instead of like, yeah, he doubles down and he does this. If I'm ESPN, like, and I get it. You created this monster. He is bigger than you now. And that's exactly your fault and your fault only. You let him run rampant all over that company and put his face on for everybody who's like, oh, he works so hard. I'm going to let you in on a little behind the scenes. He wants to do that. Nobody's asking him.
He's desperate to do it.
He shows up. I told everyone I work with, I will never share a set with that person.
She's a hater. She's mad because a black man is working hard. See, that's what happens. The minute you display the work ethic that they said you needed to have so that you're not deemed lazy, and they became lazy, now when you work hard, that's a problem. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I thought being black was synonymous with being lazy. Now they complaining about my brother working too hard. She's mad because he's outworking her. She's mad because he writes his own ticket. She's mad because she can't be like him. And I tell you guys all the time, I'm never going to promote racism or anything like that on this channel. But I'm telling you, white liberals are your friend until you got something that they want. I'm going to say that again. White liberals are your best friend until you got something that they want. They are the king of coveting. They covet their neighbor's wife. They covet their neighbor's house, covet their neighbor's car, covet their neighbor's dog, covet their neighbor's newspaper, anything they can get. They look at their neighbor and they're jealous of that because they're not willing to put in the work to be able to acquire those things. That's it. That's how the KKK was formed. And you know who formed that? She's hating on this man for working too hard. And Stephen A. Smith's response is, I don't even know you. But when Stephen A. Smith comes out with that fire, you know who comes to? She's straight hating right now. She's basically calling for this man to be fired from his multi-million-dollar a year job. Hating. But you know, when Stephen A. Smith responds, you know who jumps to her defense? Her little black lapdog, the black female liberal who has to jump to the defense of all Caucasian women everywhere when they have the audacity to speak on the black man. Let's tap back in.
Ever, because I don't respect him and life's too short. The morning of my last day on Get Up, as Greenie was giving me a heartfelt goodbye and I awkwardly sat there, as I was leaving the set, they started a promo that Stephen A. Smith will be on the show tomorrow. Like, it is him. So let's stop acting like the guy gets worked to death. It's him.
Yeah.
So she got fired from ESPN when they were doing their massive layoffs where thousands of employees got let go, and she's salty with Stephen A. Smith. Okay, we can let this chick be salty boots. Okay, she said her piece. She got hers off. You know what I'm saying? Why are black women coming to this woman's defense about anything?
So that being said, I'm like, he made you look like fools for handing him a blank check in the first place because he doesn't even give a shit about the stuff that he's paid $1 gazillion to talk about. And now he's turning around and turning that into a money-making opportunity. And the money-making opportunity turns out it looks like it's a fraudulent crap business to begin with. Honestly, I'm not a religious person, but I pray for the downfall. I really do.
Listen, bruh, I love that she's saying this because I just want y'all to know how they feel about y'all behind closed doors. I'm talking about white liberals. This is how they feel about you behind closed doors. They're jealous. She's not saying he's not good at his job. She's not saying he's doing a bad job. She said he doesn't give a shit about what he's talking about. Do you think any woman truly wants to sit around and talk about damn sports all day? Let's be real, unless she played sports. Do you think any woman who never played sports wants to sit around and talk about a bunch of sweaty dudes playing football and basketball all day, every day? 90% of them don't give a crap about what they're talking about. It's a job at the end of the day. It's a job. So now you got to love your job or else she has a problem with you. I believe Stephen A. Smith loves what he does. That's the only way you'll be able to do that, be on these shows as much as he is. She's jealous of that black man, and she admits it, and she says that she's praying on his downfall. This is the type of white woman that gets you with a SA case on the job, and you ain't never even touched her or look at her. Well, I felt assaulted. She's one of those. But I just want to highlight this because you need to know that there are people out here like this. There are people who hate you that you've never even met, or you might have met in passing and don't even really know they exist. But they've got something, they've settled in their mind that you are the cause of all their problems.
Amazing.
It's
going to be amazing.
I have never said more than hello or goodbye to her in the initial stages, and we was at one event for ESPN in 2013 or wherever it was, where we might have spoken for a minute or two. I don't know this woman at all. So when you hear her talking about me, please understand, I don't know her. I have no relationship with her. She says, I don't like her. How would you know? It has to be because of how you're acting, Michelle Beadle. It can't be because of me, because I don't talk to you.
It's 100% projection. That's the liberal crew de grace. That's what they specialize in, that projection. Everything they feel about you, they have to convince themselves that you feel about them. When you're thinking, I don't even know you. Who are you? Are you out of your fucking mind? And unfortunately, most times the answer to that is yes. This lady just went on a tirade about Stephen A. Smith, a man she doesn't even know. She got fired. I don't remember. When I used to work at a job like that, I didn't remember the people who got fired. That's like athletes remembering the people who got cut. Nobody cares about them anymore. They're irrelevant.
Know you. I don't talk to you. I've never been around you. We've never had a conversation. We've never hung out with one another. Nothing. We have no relationship. I can sit up here right now, walk outside to the bathroom, pass somebody in a hallway, talk to them for 2 minutes, and that would be more extensive than any communication I have had with Michelle Beadle in all these years.
Stephen A., I played that Michelle Beadle clip for one reason and one reason only. I'm old enough to remember being on that show and getting in trouble based on some comments you said about women and whether or not they should know their place when it comes.
Okay, so now the black woman, who I believe she also got fired from ESPN, she comes to it's not like she's defending Michelle Beadle, but she's now throwing out her gripe with Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith said something about black women on the show. She got in trouble. Maybe she was supposed to cut him off, whatever. How is that Stephen A. Smith's fault? Stephen A. Smith is paid to go up there and do what he does. Why is it his problem if you didn't say or do what you were supposed to do, which is cut him off and interrupt him? This is like No Jumper when Lush cuts me off when I'm making a good point. We know he's been instructed to do that by Josh. But it's not my fault if Lush, gets too caught up in what I'm saying and doesn't speak up and cut me off like he's supposed to. They are jealous of Stephen A because he stayed and got a bigger contract and they all got fired because they're looking at it like, man, he could have took less and we could have kept our job. Basically, they fired all these people to give Stephen A their money because he was worth more than all these people because it's based on views.
To abuse or non-abuse. Ray Rice comes to mind. Not going to get into the details of all of that. But Beetle just came for you yet again, like she did when I worked at ESPN. I wonder, do you have that same smoke for her that you have for Jasmine Crockett, that you have for Michelle Obama, that you sometimes display for me and Jamel Hill? Do you have that same smoke? I'm sick of it. Keep the same energy.
See, and this is where a lot of Black women, this is where they mess up. Why would you want him to have the same smoke for her as he does for y'all? She's irrelevant. So why would I have the same smoke for somebody who's irrelevant as I have for someone who's relevant? When in reality, Jamel Hill and this chick, they are also irrelevant. But the thing is, Stephen A might mention y'all just to give y'all a little bit of buzz and traction in the algorithm. Because if he throw a diss, guess what? People gonna go watch y'all to see what y'all gonna say back, and y'all get a couple of weeks of a little uptick in views over that. Hell, Stephen A. Smith dissed the hell out of me, so my views can go up. I'll be thanking that dude behind the scenes. Hey, thanks for calling me out. But she don't even understand that this is 3D chess that Stephen A. is playing, and she's just a moron wearing a wig or a weave, looking like a damn poodle.
And I call you and I root for you and I say, hey, I got your back. I'm happy for you. You keep that same energy, sir, for everybody.
You should be ashamed of yourself. You just said, Kerry, you called me, you root for me. Why would you root for somebody that called you out in Jamel Hill, who's your good friend? Because it's never happened. Never. I've shown you nothing but love. What are you talking about? You were hired at First Take in large part because of me. You stayed as long as you stayed and had the support of the people that supported you because of me. Do I need to get bosses to confirm that I'm telling the truth? You know I can.
Yeah, she was a talentless hack. And Stephen A. kept her up there because she was one of the sisters. And now she's trying to turn on him and come at him because she's been emboldened by the liberal white woman. And that's what Black female liberals do. The liberal white woman tell them to jump and they say how high. She say attack and they start barking and spinning around a circle looking for a target. Speaking of attacks, this bum tried to stick his dog on me today, bro. I got it on video too. It's crazy. But anyway, so yeah, so she's just hey. What do they used to call it, lady? Mistress. They said the mistress went after him, so we got and what she's probably doing is hoping that she'll get a little slot or a guest appearance on the Beetle and whatever podcast so she could get some motion if she disses Stephen A. Smith. Keep that same energy. Girl, you only had a job because of me. What you mean keep that same energy? I hate people who need you for stuff and be trying to holler, keep that same energy. Don't you owe me $40? Why don't you keep that same energy and stop asking me for shit? They never want to do that. They never want to keep the same energy.
When we see the diverse people that come on First Take, Black people, women, the list goes on and on. Who did that? That wasn't happening when Skip was there. That was me. What are you talking about? When have I spoken against you? When have I thrown shade against you? When did that happen? That is a lie. Me, Dog and Kerry champion, when? And if I did it, why did you call me and root for me? What are you sick of? I want to make sure that I say this. I'm not going to let y'all get away with that, with this stuff about men and black men with black women. First of all, to the brothers out there, can we ask a question? Can we disagree with a sister from time to time?
First heard the comment.
Hell no, you can't. No, you can't disagree with no black woman. Black women feel like if a black man disagree with them, that's disrespect. Go ask all of our mothers. As far as black women are concerned, black men are like children. You should be seen and not heard. That's why they always got to get put in their place and got to get their feelings hurt. Because they look down at you because genetically speaking, maybe some of that mammyism then came down through the generations and they got you fucked all the way up. And then when you check them and park their ass like a Cadillac, now they want to cry and call you abusive and a misogynist. Listen, we could all argue and throw low blows, baby, and I could go lower than you. But they want to cry. Oh, how could you? How could you talk about my abortion? Hell, you talk about me. But they want equality. But then all of a sudden, when they want equality, when they feel they have the upper hand, but then when they get showed that they don't, now equality is abuse. I'm not saying go beat up on no woman or nothing like, I mean, unless you want to, but I'm not saying go beat up on no woman. But what I'm saying is women have a track record of doing this stuff. They'll use you as long as they can, but the minute you stand up for yourself or tell them no, all of a sudden you're abusive. We just saw some mess about that. Found out some mess about that today. We got a friend who's a coach. He had a girlfriend. They break up. Now she's trying to say bro a pedophile. Like what? And then goes try to make a rival team to go against bro. So you've been with bro all this time and he was a pedophile and you never said nothing? No, she's just trying to use the typical female shaming and tactics, weaponizing weaponizing SA to hurt bro and potentially steal the students at his team, on his team. This is par for the course. This is par for the course. Why doesn't she go after Pat McAfee? Why doesn't she talk about the executives at ESPN? They're the ones who fired her. They're the ones who fired Champion, that black lady. But notice they don't go after them. Because they hoping, man, maybe if something goes right, I can get a job over there again. You're women in a male-dominated field. Sorry. If you're not carrying your weight, you're going to get cut. What's the other little black girl who work over there? They giving her all the spots. I don't know if she's still over there. What's her name? Y'all know. Malika Andrews. Malika Andrews is 30 years old. Old ass Michelle Beadle, 50. They don't want you anymore. You're old. You're washed up. Nobody wants to see you on TV, Michelle. You look a mess and you age badly. They're getting you out. They got the younger, more beautiful, more aesthetic woman, and they sent you out to pasture. That's not Stephen A. Smith's fault. Carrie Champion. They got her ass up out of there. She's 47 years old. She's 50 years old. All they did was say, we want someone more young and beautiful because men are watching this. And if you got a beautiful host, that's going to keep more men watching. It's not personal. It's just business. Y'all could have spun off and made a sports show. Jemele Hill, she wasn't really hinged on her looks, but she just wanted to go woke. She just wanted to go woke. She would have still been working there because she was an actual journalist at one point before she sold out. Yeah, man. I'm sorry. Y'all not competing with Malika. Malika Andrews might need a nose job, but y'all not competing with her. She's cooking y'all in the looks department. And she does the job well. I don't like how she's like kind of woke, but she's destroying you guys. She's destroying you guys. She's beautiful. She looks like the girl next door. The slut. That's what men like. That's way better than old wobbly knees. That's way better than old removed uterus. I'm trying to bash her. Let me stop. Hey, I got 5 sisters, so I be cooking females like big time. Bro, this is Michelle Beadle, bro. She looks like Beetlejuice. She's even wearing his outfit. I'm just being real with you. I'm taking Malika Andrews over that any day. She looks greasy. Stephen A. Smith is not the reason you got fired. You ugly. That's why you got fired. You're washed up. You're used up. Shouts out to feminism. You should, when you were actually cute, you should have got you a multi-millionaire husband who has season tickets to the Bears. And you would have been good. Now, Carrie Champion, she's still beautiful. She's still pretty. I'm not going to lie. She's keeping herself in shape. She's very pretty. You know what I'm saying? She got a chance. She is fine. I'm just going to say she's fine. But she's old, and that probably means she's opinionated, and I don't want to hear it. You don't even want to hear it. That's why she ain't on ESPN no more. I'm sorry, ladies. The older you get, the less anybody cares what you think. We don't barely care now. But I'm telling you that this girl right here, they might have should have kept her. She's fine. She's real beautiful. She's still old. I get it. The elasticity in her cleavage it's wanting. But I mean, hey, you could take her out for a ride. I don't know what the hell Jemele Hill's doing. Put her in a skillet and fry her up like a damn possum. She looks cooked. But this one right here, yeah. I don't know if these things are fake or not, but they're looking very lip. What? Sorry, Carrie Champion. You're just not young and supple. But she can, maybe late night in the back of a doghouse. But it's definitely nothing to write home about, guys. Yeah. What do these heifers be thinking? But let's keep going with Stephen A. because Stephen A. said a curse word, and I want to get to it. So, they had to bring up the Jasmine Crockett when she was getting into it. And see, Stephen A. should have never apologized to this wig-wearing hyena. Shout out to my boy Hustle Smart. Because soon as he apologized, when you apologize, they think they won. When you apologize, they think they won. That's why I don't apologize. You know what? There may be an emotion that could be associated with sorrow, but am I sorry? No. Let's stop.
I was disappointed. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. And I've never met Stephen A. We've never had a conversation a day in our lives. I was disappointed simply because it was a Black man. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Like, in the work that I do, I anticipate that there's tons of racists or just tons of people that are on the other side from me that will be critical and not focus on the substance of what it is that I'm doing, not focus on the legislation, not focus on the money that I bring in, not focus on the programs that I run out of my districts, not focus on how I am very much in tune with keeping my districts informed of what's going on in the government, like the meat and potatoes. Like, I get that they will ignore all that stuff. But in a
Jasmine, you're 44 years old. No one cares what you think. You're not doing anything in your district. How are you doing something in your district? You're always in New York on the news. You always in LA. You always at the hair wig shop getting this bullshit attached to the top of your scalp. You're not doing anything. Your constituents don't even know that you're their representative. You want to be an internet celebrity. That's why you're going to lose your seat. You're going to lose your seat. Then we're going to sue Gavin Newsom in California to get that bullcrap Prop 50 repealed. Sorry, not sorry. Adios. Vaya con Dios. Hasta la vista, baby. You won't be missed.
time in which Black women specifically are under attack, and we all know what Malcolm X said about the Black woman. I just felt a way that there was a Black man who decided not to do any research and decided to more so comment on my stylistic approach, which I'm good with people disagreeing or whatever, but to use your platform in order to not only come for me, but consistently kind of have a track record of coming for Black women, I was just very disappointed in him. Like, that was just really disappointing from like a cultural standpoint as it relates to his.
Bro, I hate these type of shows because these shows are not intended for pushback. It's just to let her get her crap off, and you just sit there looking interested. This lady is a moron. Your stylistic approach, you're a representative of a state. You're a state rep. What style? You're supposed to be pushing paperwork and legislation to get passed. You don't even do your job, Jasmine. You don't even do your job. Your own party said they have no faith in you in a leadership capacity. Stephen A. Smith didn't say that, and I didn't hear a single word of criticism. Treat it like a white Democrat criticized you, because Stephen A. is still a Democrat. She's mad because it was a Black man. That's it. Chuck Schumer criticized her. Hakeem Jeffries didn't, but a bunch of them white dudes who are Democrats criticized her. She didn't say one word. She just took it on the back like a slave, whipped her ass like 12 years a slave, and she just sucked it up. But when Stephen A. Smith has an opinion on her acting ghetto, it's a problem. But we see this playing out in hoods all over America. You cannot criticize a Black woman. It don't matter how snotty nosed her kids is. It don't matter how many gangs they join or how many bodies they catching. We was queens and shit. I'm tired of that. You want to be treated like a queen, act like one. If you don't, I'm going to slap you in the back of your damn head, and the friction from that. I was watching Frankenstein, right? And you know the part when they shock his ass and bring him to life? When I slap one of these hoes in the back of their head, the friction from that slap is going to create an electric charge that's going to bring that wig to life, and it's going to turn into a ferret and eat that hoe's face off. I just cannot stand Black liberal women. I have a special hatred for them. I'm not going to lie. Now, Black queens like Condoleezza Rice and Candace Owens, those is my babies. Don't ever come for them. They can do no wrong in my eyes. But dude, these bad wenches, dude, I about had it with them. I'm sorry. Please excuse my French.
Apology. I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna tell you that like I haven't paid attention whatsoever. I do feel like whatever took place was more so in response to the backlash, and so it's kind of like, all right, so if you hadn't gotten smoke, like, would you have done it?
And don't say anything. We can't disagree without being accused of disrespect or misogyny.
Nope.
For asking a question.
Nope.
Again, I apologize for the unintended effect, and I meant it. But what I'm saying is, why are we having this problem? You're trying to make this about the Black man and the Black woman.
Right.
Stop. My record speaks for itself. Google me. We ain't going for that. You think I don't know what the hell this is?
We know what
I
it
ask
is.
a simple question. Sit down for this one. If it were Candace Owens instead of Jasmine Crockett or somebody else, what would you have said?
Nothing.
If it was the black woman who ran for governor of Virginia and just lost to the woman Spanberger in Virginia, Earl Sears, I believe is her name.
Her name is Winsome Earl Sears. She's a black woman, great candidate. She was the vice governor of Pennsylvania. I mean of Virginia, and she was overly qualified. The NCAA, I mean the NAACP, the NAACP. I would say the NCAA probably do more for black folks than the NAACP. The NAACP came out and endorsed a white liberal woman who ran against Winsome Earl Sears for the governorship of Virginia. You didn't hear black women say a word. That was an absolute abomination. That was violation. It makes no sense. If it's a black woman who's a conservative, you could treat her lower than a dog, and black women ain't gonna say nothing. They're not gonna say nothing, like Bernie Mac used to say. But if it's any type of liberal woman, you can't even pinch her ass without them being all up in arms. This is pure hypocrisy. It's not about women, which is what Tish Hyman learned when she was violated in the bathroom of Gold's Gym by a transgender. It's not about women. It's not about feminism. It's all about politics and the acquisition of power. And I tell all women that. Do not for a second think that this cadre is protecting you. They're in it to win it, and it is seats in that chamber. In both chambers of Congress, they want the ultimate seat, the one in the Oval Office, and they'll say and do anything to get it. Be careful what you wish for. You might get it. That's going to be my theme song when I'm talking about these liberals.
Winsome Earl Sears. If I was talking about her, would y'all have said anything?
Nope.
If I was talking about somebody like Sage Steele, our former colleague at ESPN, who's now in the podcast space and doing her thing, would you have said anything?
Nope.
Trying to make this about gender and race. No, this is about politics, ideology. You expect me as a black man to stand firm supporting the Democratic Party. That's what this is about.
Yep. And that's exactly what happened at No Jumper with me. They tried to make it seem like it was about everything else, but it was about politics. Liberal Adam, liberal drug addict gay Josh, the two little crack babies, Stephen and Nathan, and every other liberal in that building, they didn't like that I have views that they didn't agree with, and they couldn't do anything about it. That's called politics. And they were not men enough, and they were not smart enough to sit and debate those politics. So what they did was they tried to slander, make me look bad, which it doesn't matter because I make myself look bad as it is. It don't matter. But they also refused to pay me what I deserved. We can get rid of this guy. We could reduce him down till he's disrespected himself by showing up and then refuse to negotiate higher pay. And it's okay. It's okay. But the thing is, just be real with your shit and admit that that's why you did what you did. And Josh, he gonna hit me up. He gonna say on Instagram, "Oh, you're gonna see." That's what he said. Like when I was talking about my pants shit. You're gonna see. You think everything revolves around you. You're gonna see. All I see is views are down, Josh. That's all I see. All I see is that you were piggybacking off of the success of Crip Mac and what's that? Faux extras. You got no talent, producer. That's why you can't produce shit without a Negro lighting a match and starting a fire, and then you just piggyback off of their success, charisma, and ability. That's what was really going on. Because I don't see anything going up since all the Negroes left. I don't see nothing going up since the Negroes left. Because you're not who you thought you were. You were just one in the long line of white guys finding success off of a Negro's back. That's what it is. And that's what ESPN is doing. And Stephen A. Smith know that. And he's negotiated and leveraged this to where he can be paid handsomely. And the white liberal female is pissed off. And her black lapdog, Totisha, has to bark at whatever she says she points at.
This is about. If I said the same thing about those conservative black women, y'all would not have said a word.
Nope.
So if it's about politics, say so. See, that's where the left gets slit. And this is somebody, you can't say anything to me because I vote for you anyway, because I'm looking at a policy by policy and I understand.
Yeah. And that's the damn problem. Stop voting for it. And when you stop voting for it, women stop doing it. Once they know that you're not going to play along with them anymore, they come right back to their senses. You could get the most ghetto hood rat in creation. Let a millionaire walk in the room. That hoe gonna be in there trying to talk proper Ebonics. Yes, sir, Miss. Y'all ever saw a hood rat in a professional situation and she tried to change up? That's what that, because they know situations changed. Adjust, adapt, and overcome. She gonna try to go in the bathroom and slick her weed down and act like she got some Ackright in her. I'm just being real with you. Women love falling in line. They the best soldiers in creation. Better than ants. But you gotta make them fall in. You gotta give them something to fall in line with. You can't just keep capitulating and capitulating and capitulating, because the more you give them an inch, they take a mile. Honest engine. I'm just keeping it real. But nobody wants to listen. What do I know?
Attention that needs to be brought to the desolate and the disenfranchised, to the poorest amongst us, and for us to do what we can to uplift them. That's how I live my life, trying to do it. And even though the Republicans might have some policies and their thought process might be free market capitalism, free land of opportunity, do that. Whereas the Democrats might have given blacks more access to capital through,
that's a lie,
some policies and what have you. The bottom line is, on far too many occasions, it's come across like they care more about that than the other side might. Whatever you may think, the fact of the matter is, this is about politics and ideology.
100%.
And about the left trying to muscle and flex us into doing and thinking and spreading and disseminating what you want me to do. Bump that.
Hey, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. That's bullying. They're supposed to be anti-bullying. This is the left's attempt to bully black folks into doing what they want us to do. Have your own mind. Think for yourself. And you know, the number one agent they'll send at you for thinking for yourself is a mindless, unthinking Negro.
I apologize. Fuck that. I'm not doing it. I do what I want to do. I think for me. I voted for Kamala Harris. I voted for Barack Obama twice. I voted for Bill Clinton. Don't come to me acting like, oh, I'm supposed to parrot your speech. You sitting there on the White House lawn dancing with Joe Biden, who was 80. Forgetting you're going to bring up Trump with the rent issue in the 70s, but we're going to conveniently ignore Joe Biden and the crime bill with the Senate in the 90s.
The crime bill, he called black people animals. His mentor was a member of the KKK. He gave the eulogy at the funeral of a KKK member. Joe Biden has a long line of racism. But all these people conveniently forgot. And because you won't forget, you're the enemy. You're the enemy. Thank you, Stephen A. But before I forget, let me show y'all this video where this bub tried to do something. He tried to stick his dog on me, bro. I almost forgot. Hold on. I hope this plays right. Damn it. I hate when these things don't scan. All right. It always does that. I hate Instagram. All right. Y'all gonna get a little. Okay, that's cool. Perfect. Hey, I don't know if this nigga is a Somalian immigrant or what, but he just tried to sick this ugly ass, anorexic ass dog on me. Hey, bro, the dog ain't gonna sick nobody. It's skinnier than you. Oh, you getting drunk. Look, his dog's skinnier than him, bro, but he trying to sick it on people. No, you act like you was gonna sick my dog on you act like you was gonna sick your dog on me. Stop with the respect bullshit. The nigga dog is skinnier than him, but he act like he was gonna sick it on somebody. I'm not a fan. I train dogs and niggas that look like you. Exactly, you bony ass bitch ass nigga. Yeah, nigga, yeah. I don't fight, yeah, cause you get knocked the fuck out. That's what you do. Take that punk ass dog and keep it moving. Hey, I don't know if this nigga is a Somalian immigrant or what, but he just tried to sick this ugly ass, anorexic ass dog on me. Hey, bro, the dog ain't gonna sick nobody. It's skinnier than you. Yeah, bro. Hey, let me tell you the full context of this situation. This dude, I'm riding my bike downtown and I'm coming back from the gym. I'm just riding my bike. I roll by bro dog. The dog don't try to bite me or anything. It just turns like to look at me. Bro, like bump the dog, like get him, boy, get him. Like in my my leg was by the dog, but the dog was just, it's not an attack dog. I train dogs, so I know dogs that attack. That dog looked like he was on his last leg. So I stopped my bike and I turned around like, hey, bro, like, you trying to sick your dog on me? Like, what are you trying to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just walked up on bro, and bro, you know, of course he starts trying to retreat and the dog was running too. And I'm just like, bro, you about to get deported, my nigga. Like, what are you talking? Like, how you coming at me? What are you doing, bro? I even went up to there was a Mexican mailman who was right there. And bro looks Somalian. Don't let the deep voice fool you. They good actors. They good at acting like black Americans. But bro, I went up to a Mexican postal worker, and I'll play you the audio of what I said. Sounds like a deport by mail service, some illegal immigrant. Hey, I have a question. Do you guys have like a deport by mail service? Some illegal immigrant just tried to sick his dog on me around the corner. Is that you got a thing where I can like stick a postage stamp to one of these motherfuckers' ass and just ship them straight back to wherever they came from? Come on, man. I think this motherfucker was Somalian or something. I'm trying to get his ass up out of here. We gonna put him in your basket. Bro, he was Mexican. Even he was laughing. But yeah, bro, I was like, this, bro was about to get deported, bro. I was about to send bro back to Allah, bro. On God. He would have went to where do Muslims go when you whoop their ass? I don't remember. Is it the Elysian Fields? 120 young boys. Bro knew when I said he's my bro tried to beat feet, he was trying to walk away. Bro said, I don't want no smoke. He took that dog. That dog looked so bad. That motherfucker looked like a retired sled dog. I'm not gonna lie to you. Triumph, the insult comic dog. What? Only because they do not believe in Christ. That's why they go to hell. Y'all turn this into that. Okay, guys, listen. I hope you enjoyed this show. We got to get out of here. I got somewhere to be. Thank y'all so much for watching this. I appreciate every single thing you do for me in this channel. Till the next time, take care of yourselves. But most importantly, please do me a favor and take care of each other. Hope we got past the fifth wall today. If you don't know what that is, look it up. You learned something. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Light it up. Share this. Subscribe. Like everything. All that good stuff. Let people know I'm over here making incendiary content. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.